All right, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. My name is Lethal F Baby, and today we are watching round number 2 of Liam's tournament. We are watching Mar007br face off against Abumosh in a best of 3. Game number 1 going down on bedrock. As we can see, they have opted in for Isabel and Pavium. Let's check out exactly what is going on. I think we're seeing a double supply pad and a double chopper opener. Looks like that chopper has been sent to the center to overextend and push on over to take some of his opponent's gas here. Looks like Abumosh did predict that a little bit, try to set some mines, trying to bait the chopper into that, but the grunt is there to take the actual resources. Take a look back at home for Abumosh. So this will be a double supply pad Gen 3rd build. And Abumosh is trying to recover, trying to counter and take the gas on... Mar is trying to recover and take Abumosh's gas as well. Those two choppers are going to be split off from Abumosh and pinch that jackrabbit, so he will fork over this gas, majority of that gas bundle. Gen 3rd build, watchtower set down out of Abumosh. He's going to use that to utilize sight lines on the back side to pick up his back mini. Does have a grunt in position to pick up his side mini as well, and at the same time microing his choppers around to see if he remembers that these mines were set down. There's a red bar grunt there, doing some great pathing, being very aggressive. He did not see that the Marine did overextend. The original one that took that original gas bundle has overextended and take that, so they will levy out on the gas department respectively for both sides. See a second gen set for Abumosh there on that last peak, and second gen as well for Mar007br, who both of these players have only picked up one mini. Again, this is Pavium versus Isabel. Isabel's going to want to get into that tech too, want to get those hogs and take advantage of her leader wheel. That does help her out in the vehicle department. Pavium's going to be able to take advantage of his eco with that burnout 1, 2, and possibly 3. Curious to see if T1 is going to be played here out of Abumosh, and looks like the filler spots will be filled in with some grunts, and those will naturally bound to take the nodes in the center of the map. Second gen is being upgraded for Mar. You see an armory off to the side, so that he will be contesting T1 with a leader. Most likely followed by some Marines as well to deal with the oppressive choppers that Pavium is well known for. A lot of micro for Abumosh here. He's been trying to hunt some units. He wasn't successful. Didn't lose any units to those mines set at the top. Definitely playing on the higher end of his gameplay today. Haven't seen Abumosh in the spotlight for quite some time. Burnout 2's set down. Let me turn down my sensitivity for YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Turn down that sensitivity for you, brothers. Controller. Let's see, 96 is probably a little too much for you guys, huh? Turn it down to 52. Not a lot of action in the beginning here. Again, Isabel's going to want to get into T2. Mar obviously has 15 population, and we'll watch him click here. He does play mouse and keyboard, but when you're trying to get into T2 as Isabel, obviously you're going to want to pump those hogs. You want to take advantage of that accelerated assembly and be able to span lots of vehicles. So he is going to be floating a lot of blue with a little bit of population. Again, he opted in for that armory for his leader. We don't see the leader set down, so it's kind of a wasted slot, if you will, for quite some time. This definitely could have been a supply pad for quite some time and swapped out for an armory later on. Abumosh in T2. Immediately see a foundry, double foundry set down. He did opt in to pick up an early expansion. Does have 2 nodes. Neither opponents have poked or prodded each other just quite yet. Take a look at Abumosh. Did scout. Well, does know there's a double gen. He has choppers forward here. Let's see if Mar has no idea what's going on Pavium's side of the map. That will be 3 nodes, possibly 4. 2-1. Again, the chopper coming back in, being super annoying. Getting some scouting information. More mines set set in a linear position to be able to catch units in a choke point. And there was a double foundry set down, so it's going to be a marauder spam, and it looks like that's what he's going to utilize to try to fend off the hogs that are inevitably going to come out of Isabel. Avium set down, upgrading his eco, and that is 3 nodes to 1. Burnout 2 is back online. Upgrading some of his macro here, not all of it. You can see the burnout set down on the front 4 slots, and those are all upgraded to boost his eco here in just a second. A lot of production coming down from. He's got a foundry off to the side, 1 at home, got a Rax picking up a couple of hunters, and now has an Apex in the mix as well. Here are the inevitable hogs out of Isabel coming from Mar. Double garage set down, triple garage set down, and we can see the overqueue. We did see him floating a lot of blue. We can see the overqueue here, and he's got 3 hogs off to the side, trying to pump those units as fast as possible. That was preemptively seen by Abumosh, so he's going to respectively pump Marauders and Hunters to be able to try to counter that. All these hogs in the beginning of the game are going to be precious units. Both of these players are kind of pushing on out, trying to overextend. Mars trying to send a couple of hogs off to the side. We see the global rally point. Going to try to harass the minis as he tries to get his numbers up. Avium is now in the mix as well, and it's definitely a beefy unit that's going to take a while to deal with. Rain of Fire, that's going to be point number 3 coming out of Abumosh. It's going to be set down, trying to deny this expansion. A lot of these hogs are starting to overextend. Again, he's opting in for that vehicle spam, respectively, to be able to utilize the leader wheel that Isabel is going to provide. Again, overqueue, 2, 1. A lot of units are being spammed here. 67 pop versus 48. Leader is on the field for Abumosh. Couple of red bar units, couple of counter units trying to come on home. And that's going to be 4th point spent for Abumosh. And that looks like that's going to be full salvage. Yeah, so the base is healing there. That's going to be full salvage out of Abumosh. Got his leader forward. A couple of Marauders as well. You see a Kodiak that was spammed out. 64 pop versus 56, and Abumosh floating a lot of yellow here. Looks like he wants to get into T3 here and eventually get these tanks that will be make light work of these hogs. Still holding 3 nodes to 1. Marauders used for mobility. He's now going to respectively begin his own harassment. He did deny the expansion, but we do see Mar picking up a sneaky expansion off to the side. Right now set in the front, T3 was queued, so that will get him instantly into T3. That's basically 10 seconds out. Loading a lot of blue here. Definitely wants to get those wraiths on out. Be a great choice to utilize against these hogs. Again, the idea is mobility for the hogs, so they can kind of be everywhere, cause a lot of havoc, but a lot of map control is in hand for Abumosh here, as we do see 5 nodes to none. Mar trying to keep busy here, trying to sweep these minis. He did take 1. Abumosh trying to keep up with it while holding map control forward. So Abumosh has not seen this expansion. That's a very cheeky spot to take it. He does have sight lines on the respective right side for Mar, and also the left hand side as well. So he's thinking he is ahead. He did deny that expansion. Mar still pumping all these hogs the best that he can, but he's got a couple of macro spots that are not completely filled yet, and that's due to him not having map control. So his yellow income is not going to be on par with Avium's income. He's a vet 1 hog. It's been doing a lot of work. And that full salvage kicking on in, healing the building slowly but surely. A couple hogs in the background still doing some work as well. And this is game number 1 of a best of 3 in round number 2. Bedrock, Mirage, Frontier. And the rules are going to be no node strat, no Vortis, no repeats basically for the entire tournament. 16-minute timers. And 30-second auto loss if you do disconnect after 30 seconds. The wraiths are finally coming on out. Abumosh is kind of falling apart here in a little bit of his micro. He started off very well in the beginning, still controlling a lot of the map. Again, Mars struggling in this macro department. He's trying to get them finally upgraded, be able to continue his spam. Curious to see when he's going to decide. You can see the front heavy pads have been upgraded. I'm just curious to see when he's going to decide to transition here. Abumosh is desperately looking for this expansion. There's no way that you can keep affording all of these hogs. And then what a great job in the background being able to sweep all of these minis. Those are 3 points of production, 3 points of income that he has now allotted himself to pick up and replace as a quote-unquote expansion as well. So that will help keep his eco alive. 67 pop versus 37 pop. Again, Abumosh is trying to get into the into these wraith spam. This is the 5th point lich push. Matt comes down onto the leader, does hardly any damage. That is a T3 leader with his T3 upgrade. It's just come down on the main, and Mars got to come home and deal with this. Tanks are now being respectively pumped for Mar007br. 36 pop versus 64. Lich is down on the field. Maining a supply pad. Coming back over to the main. So this is a lot of pressure. This one unit alone is hard to deal with, let alone the Lich doing a lot of base damage. 49 pop versus 40 population. A lot of macro in the background. Abumosh trying to pick back up his slots respectively on the backside. Inji in the mix. Pavium is going to fall to a couple of canister shells. But the problem is the main is losing a lot of health due to this 5th point drop. Probably have another 40 seconds of this unit doing so much damage, and it's auto-targeting the main. Does have the expansion that's upgraded off to the side. Again, it looks like Mars is going to lose his main to the Lich here. He's trying to center his units in front to finally pick up the auto-target from the Lich. Do have a 2-bar. Oh no, it re-auto-targeted. 2-bar, 1-bar, black bar, and he's going to lose his main. Wow, didn't recycle any pads. He did decide to pick up an expansion off to the side. There was a point of production in the backside. A couple of heavy pads still up. Now he's going to start nabbing all the bases that he can. He is floating quite some blue, but he doesn't have the population to be defending. And this is a great opportunity for Abumosh to try to take some map control back. Again, we're sitting on 4 nodes to 1. He's just got to take his side of the map and clean up some of this population. He's in a great position now. Every unit counts for Mar concurrently at the moment. Cannot sacrifice these units, but again, he's trying to be aggressive and show a presence on the map. Watch Abumosh click around here for just a second. Abumosh has to know. He's probably expecting his opponent to quit here, but he's got to know that he's got to chase all of these units. They're very important to Mar currently. Got to take his time, control his side of the map. Get his units back online, sitting at 58 pop versus 53. A lot of blue slots for Mar. No yellow income whatsoever. Extra spot, extra base is going to be scouted, and that's going to become, again, all of these units count. The Scorch Mortar is set down. A couple of hogs are going to fall. Wolverine's going to fall. Only left with a few more units. Tank trying to rally on in. As we can see, they do have the shields. That's going to be the leader point picked by Isabel. Nightingales and tanks will have shields. Abumosh is floating a ton of eco, and we'd love to see him start spamming some of this eco. You see a War Council set, so maybe he is opting in for a Scarab, but I think an oppressive amount of race would benefit him in the situation. Does scout all of the expansions. Didn't finish off that one. Aim to pick up this one. Probably going to double back and pick this one up as well. Now picking up the last quote-unquote main here for Mar007br. That's going to wrap up game number 1 there. That's a nice slow gameplay out of both players. Abumosh is going to take that in this best of 3 series. Move on to Mirage. Again, this is round number 2. It's a best of 3. Mar has to turn things around this exact game to be able to stay in today's tournament. It's a $500 tournament. First place is $400. Second is $70. Third place is going to get a solid $30. If you guys are enjoying the content, exclamation point donate down below. If you guys want to check out today's bracket, exclamation point bracket, it'll take you straight to the bracket. A lot of big names playing today. As we get later down the bracket, we should be able to see some really good matches. But again, we are watching Mar versus Abumosh in a best of 3. Game number 2 going down on Mirage, and we are immediately going to see a colony mirror. Some interesting gameplay here. Abumosh definitely trying to lock this game in. And Mar, with that pick, is definitely trying to stay in the series. Chopper opener, double supply pad coming out of Abumosh. We don't see a rally point set on the mini-map in the bottom right just quite yet. One grunt is split off top mid to be able to try to pick up that extra gas here, but let's see if he tries to overextend and pick up some minis here. One grunt was overextended as well, respectively, for Mar. He's opened up. But Gen second. We've seen him do this on ladder recently. Likes to open up Gen second. He likes to go Council fifth. He gets a couple of Engies. He's going to get some base damage. He's going to opt in for the Goliaths. And a few Engies in the sky to be able to push on in. So curious to see how Abumosh is going to counter that. Probably not going to be expecting that. Opening up Gen second is definitely a wary play. Especially on Mirage, because every single mini counts in this map. Mar doesn't look like he's scared to lose a mini, so he decides to pick up top mid. Chopper and Skitter are soaring on in for Abumosh. A little bit of micro here, wiggling his units back and forth, trying to dodge some shots. This was a great opportunity for Abumosh to steal some minis here. Another chopper queued, so a lot of micro here for Abumosh, and it looks like he's struggling just a little bit. Didn't overextend and take a mini. Hasn't picked up his second mini. We're sitting at almost 2 minutes now. And technically, Mar is in the lead in slots wise. He has 2 slots here. He just picked up his other mini. So he's ahead in production points and slots concurrently at the moment. Loading a lot of eco here. Chop skits looks like that's going to be play coming out of Abumosh. 2 choppers online on top. Going to be able to gather that yellow after clearing that top mid garrison. Still hasn't picked up his side mini yet. Finally spending his eco. 8 population versus 22. We did see a Rax 5th here for Abumosh. So choppers and Goliaths looks like that's going to be the unit composition for Abumosh. You see the Apex coming down. Again, we're going to see that leader 5th coming out of Mar. We want to get that upgrade. Going to get a few Engies in the sky to help keep that leader alive and provide that 40% buff. That defensive buff that Skitterers apply as soon as they pop that NG shield.
Our base. They attack.
1 node respectively taken from Mar, and that was taken quite early. That's going to be able to fill that yellow that he was been trying to desperately get. He went top mid for it. He didn't end up getting it. He needed every single drop of that to be able to upgrade his leader here. Font is upgraded. See what he replaces that pad with. He doesn't try to bed up, kill some of these sentinels in the sky. Top mid is being pressed now. 1 NG is on out. No units out of Abumosh to be able to take that. Grunts looks like that's going to be the filler for Mars. He's desperately trying to get some units on out. Top mid is being pressed. Leader's going to try to rally on in, do some damage here. This is the engagement coming down at 3 minutes and 40 seconds. This top mid is going to be the priority for both of these players. That leader is very annoying. He's got a long sight range, and he could do a lot of damage. So Abumosh is not anywhere near in the position to be able to fight that heads up. He's going to try to split on off and try to do some damage to the minis here, and that's a great choice. Trying to fork his opponent, but Mars looking like he's doing a great job trying to play some defense here. He's going to replace that council with a harvester. Both of his minis are going to be pressed here pretty soon. Defended one side, and he has to defend top middle as well. A lot of NGs in the sky for Mar. Seen him do this on ladder for quite some time. He's going to come home and try to take his garrison. Again, his side wing mini is being pressed as well. No double gen set, so he does need every single point of yellow income that he can get. Mar respectively trying to overextend as well. Abumosh, he's a little confused here. He's now switching out of choppers and he's opting in for some grunts. As soon as this leader is in a overextended position, as that third point comes down, we can see it's on the cusp for Mar. He's a little ahead in leader points here. Definitely going to be an issue for Abumosh.
They attack.
Be one of those base trade scenarios. A couple of grunts and some base damage here. Going to overextend. Perfect timing coming out of Abumosh, trying to get his third point online. Leader's top mid to defend. He has some units. NG's overextended to take out one mini respectively for Abumosh. Now has suicide grunts pumping at home, so he is playing in a defensive manner. We are seeing that offensive or defensive Goliath drop coming out of Mar here. He's going to utilize the Goliaths for some stuns. Leader's going to start doing some damage in the background. The NGs are not rallied here respectively for Mar. A lot of base damage is being done by that one red Goliath. And the stuns were utilized. Abumosh is going to try to rally all of his units that were top mid. He's going to try to go for a base trade scenario here. Mar's going to try to walk home and defend this with his leader. He does have his own respective Goliaths overextended. Again, this is a base trade scenario. It's taking the production buildings away. Suicides are trying to rally on in, but those NGs are going to make a big difference. Both these players stripping each other. Abumosh still has the mini lead. Same amount of slots, though, respectively. Both these players, great position here. Abumosh does have to remember, he does have to deal with this unit. Bringing some NGs on home. He thinks he can save his main. Abumosh is not in a position to be able to do the same. Abumosh is the first to lose his main. Let's click back on over at Mar. NG comes on home to be able to heal. A couple of suicide grunts in the mix as well. And it looks like Mar's going to be able to defend this. Taking Abumosh's main. He still has a large population of base damage off to the side. He's going to start working on some of those minis. Mar's going to be able to defend with a leader and save his main. Every second that counts here is income for him that Abumosh does not have. And Abumosh has not picked up another base. He cannot afford it. That's to be game number 2 handed over to Mar as well. Now a tied series in a best of 3. Round number 2 here in today's tournament. If you guys want to check out the bracket, exclamation point bracket down below, we're going to head on over to Frontier. Another nice small map to keep things at a fast pace. Again, the series is tied. No repeats, no Vortis, no node strat. And what a series already. Trading games like that. Seeing a mirror off the bat. Decision to make leader. It's a fantastic choice coming out of Mar in that base trade scenario. Super oppressive. Nothing Abumosh can do about it. Abumosh locking in his leader. 16 leaders to pick from. Actually 15 of Vortis. They've now utilized respectively. Mar's used Isabel and Colony. Abumosh has used Pavium and Colony. Still a lot of leaders to pick from. Now it comes down to the head games of what your opponent's going to choose on Frontier. We do see a lot of H-Reox. We do see a lot of Consano, the higher tier games. They shine really well in this small map. Sometimes some cutter for some aggressive gameplay. You usually see the elite leaders take advantage of the node strat, but even though without it, with some correct timing and placement and pathing, they can shine very well on this map as well. Comes down to knowing your opponent. What is he gonna utilize? How can you counter it? Doesn't pick what you think he's going to pick. How do you oppress it? Waiting here for these guys to pick their map. But again, guys, today's a huge tournament going down. 32-man bracket. I think we had 30 players show up out of the 32. A lot of big names today. Round 1, a little bit slower. This is round number 2. This is going to be a best of 3 series. It's tied currently at the moment. Map number 3 is going to be Frontier. Waiting for somebody to pick their leader. Maybe it's bugged? I don't know. Oh, Abumosh locked in. Don't see Mar locked in. Now we see Mar locked in, and we don't see Abumosh locked in. Right, game number 3 going down, and wow. Yep, was definitely a leader I forgot. Mar opting in for his trusty Forge. See how this plays out. Definitely not a bad pick for either of these players. Mar opted in for Forge. Abumosh picking Yap. Mar with a little bit of an 8-second delay there. Interesting. Mar's gonna opt in for a supply pad. Jackrabbit, see the pathing here. He's gonna open up and take some blue here. He's gonna backtrack and take his blue on the backside as well. That's gonna be a Gen 2nd build coming out of Forge. Gander, and that's gonna be a chopper opener with a double supply pad out of Yap. Band off a couple of fodder immediately to try to contest for the gas. Why not? If you got free units, have his opening unit chopper. Most likely going to overextend and challenge his opponent's gas. And Mar looks like he's playing a defensive man here and trying to pick up his respective minis on his side of the map. He's setting a Jackrabbit to try to secure that extra gas off to the side, and that would be Abumosh's natural side to the right. Chopper's gonna catch one Marine. That was the initial Marine that picked up the front bundle. Probably going to lose this Marine, but he will secure that gas off to the side. Wow, all 3 shot at him. Triple supply pad opener. He'd overextend and take 1 mini immediately.
We're under attack.
And there was a Gen 2nd build coming out of Mar. He's going to pick up his top mini. Hasn't seen anything up in the front yet. Instead of taking the eco, the chopper is trying to find some more Marines to bully and pick on. Mar now knows that mini was taken.
The enemy sent vehicles after us. Over.
More free units continuously pumping. Again, that was a Gen 4th build for Yap. Still kind of broke. Because he's building an extra chopper and a raid camp. So he's opting in for that classic banished 1 mini pump here. A little harder to do with Yap. Because of that initial income. You can't manage to grasp. He still has not taken that yellow top mid. Fought so hard for it and hasn't taken it. Mar respectively has taken that gas with the rabbit. Was able to come back and respectively take a mini as well. So now both players are sitting on 2 minis. Abumosh still hasn't taken his opponent's gas that he fought for. Forge is going to be out here in 18 seconds, and that's going to be an issue for Yap. Going to take about 6 choppers or so to be able to fight that unit alone. Now he has to worry about that backdoor play as well. Flamers do decide to come out. We do see the anvil around 20 seconds out. Leader's on out, and he's going to try to clean up his side of the map. Forge is going to have no issue doing that as well.
Marines, ready to...
Our base is under attack. Anvil round upgrade complete.
I don't know how comfortable Abumosh is with this this build, but he doesn't look comfortable. Making some mistakes, he's making a couple of errors. That unit's on the field, it wasn't upgraded. It's a great time to knock the shield and take some damage on it. He decided to run away. Now we swarm back in when it is upgraded. Shields are popped. Anvil rug comes down, it's going to delete both of those choppers. More choppers are soaring on in, a red bar unit now.
Supply pad constructed.
Forge has no problem dealing with choppers. But this is kind of everything for Mar007br concurrently at the moment. He's got to be able to kill that unit. If Abumosh does not, it's going to set him back for quite some time. Those free units are not real new units, and they don't do a lot of damage. Mine was set down. You see the awareness level of Mar. He did hear it or was paying attention. Forge will start to overextend and try to hunt down some units. He feels comfortable at home. He's got a couple of Marines and a couple of Flamers to be able to deal with any units. Take a look back at home for Yap Yap. You see two two supply pads upgraded. No barracks on the backside, but that is an upgraded heavy supply pad. Mar did respectively pick up one top middle mini.
Our base is under attack.
Still trying to work on clearing his mini at home. The first grunt rider that was split off. Doing quite some damage here. Definitely some beefy units and hard to keep up with the spam on those. Looks like engagement was one on the backside. Mar's got to come home with his forge to be able to try to clean up here. Second gen is set and is upgrading turret on the front side. That's gonna be a total of 2 grunt riders and 4 choppers here in the mix. Spotter's still on the front side, trying to show a little bit of a presence in the center, but all of the rams are being utilized here. You know, Forge is coming in. Again, Yap Yap just broke. Second gen is set on a mini. Forge is in the mix. Anvil's gonna pop down, take some units to red bar. Choppers are trying to come in. Again, a lot of them were utilized already against the Marines, and that's gonna be forced to be pick up. Please don't shoot me on the second point, possibly third. There's third point kicking in for Abumosh. See if it's gonna be a beam. Those are now upgraded choppers. We do see the single mine, so that was please don't shoot me. Wow. Forge is going to bait the choppers into the mine. Beam on third point for Abumosh. Please don't shoot me. Picked up on second. Forge is going to see it and micro away. It's going to be red bar. Still has a lot of his population. 35 versus 51 pop, and it's all rallied here for Mar007br, who's now picked up another mini up top. Didn't lose in his mini, and now in a great position to push on up. Scatterbomb's going to be able to save his Forge Hog. Forge Hog needs to rally back on in to help clean up some of these units. Second gen is set for respectively for both players. And Iraq's now set at home for Abumosh, who's probably going to want to clean up his side of the map now. What a great play. Great micro coming out of the Forge Hog there. Dodged that beam. Set down that scatterbomb perfectly to bait the majority of those choppers as they were getting caught up against the building slots. Forge is just going to bound on. We see 13 pop out of Abumosh here. Again, he's now going to go into panic mode. He's going to have to clean up his side of the map. Defensive push was stopped due to one unit that saved Mar's life, and all of his pads are upgraded. Even the overextended mini has been upgraded, so trying to boost his leader points. As we can see, he now has 4th point sitting at 7 minutes and 25 seconds. Probably going to want to save up for that Kodiak drop and take some great map position. He's also going to opt in to pick up an extra base as well as he gets into T2 here. Mark looking in a fantastic position to be able to close out this game number 3 of a best of 3. We do see one fodder unit on the high ground here, and that's going to be set up to be able to drop in that 4th point drop that Yap Yap that is known for. Another mindset on that yellow that he never took. Trying to take it now at 8 minutes. Fought so hard with the chopper to be able to pick that up. Warthog fully healed on up.
Garage constructed.
One garage set.
Raring to go.
Marines under air assault.
And Marine was scouted. That extra fodder unit that's probably in a position to drop that 4th point drop. Forge picking up his defensive aura now. It's going to put that leader in T2.
Is under attack.
One garage has been set. Those are going to be Warthogs.
We're getting hit. Augmented harvester upgrade complete.
Here's the push coming out of Mar007br here. Gonna check for an expansion. He's gonna be able to deny that. Abumosh now in T2 is now set down Apex to pick up a shroud. Rangers got some counter units to be able to help stop the beginning pump here that hasn't been dealt with.
How about we call it?
Still hasn't cleaned out that mini on the backside. So Mar looking in a great spot here, and Abumosh knows it, and he's gonna tap on out of that game number 2, and Abumosh is gonna fall out of the tournament. It's not a double elim. Single elimination, and that's going to call it quits for Abumosh today. Thanks for showing up. Mar's going to go ahead and move on forward in today's tournament. GG's, well played, gentlemen.